You know what? Who doesn't need a little humor? And that actually sounds like a pretty good book. Hey, today I am making a case why the Sabbath is an actual spiritual directive to rest. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all their multitude. And on the seventh day, God finished the work that he had done. And he rested on the seventh day from all the work that he had done. So God blessed the seventh day and hallowed it, because on it God rested from all the work that he had done in creation. That's Genesis chapter 2, verses 1 to 3. The rhythm between work and rest in our busy lives often gets out of balance. I bet, I'm just guessing, that everybody here, including me, thinks that work is just a little bit more important. In our Western modern culture, the value is that work is more highly esteemed than rest. Most of us, we even know that's not quite right, but we live that way out of fear, out of habit, and out of tiredness, and out of expectations. You know, there's a whole lots of reasons. But rest must be included in the healthy balance on the spiritual journey to enlightenment. Now, this is attributed to Jesus in the Gospel of Matthew. Come to me, all you that are weary and are carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. That's a beautiful, beautiful passage. And let me just say, take my yoke upon you doesn't mean pull the plow. It means link with me. Take my yoke upon you. Be with me. Link with me and learn from me. For I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. Now, do you all remember when things were closed on Sundays? And I remember being really annoyed that in Colorado you couldn't drop by the store and buy wine to bring to somebody's house for dinner. That was, 20 years ago. When I was a child, I definitely remember that Sunday church was open, the library was closed. When they started opening the libraries on Sundays, I was hysterically happy, but still. There were a lot of things closed. Now, I am not advocating that everybody needs to take the same day off. That's never going to happen again. Doesn't need to. But just because things are open on Sunday, or whatever your day off is, my day off is usually Monday or Friday, or both, usually Monday and Friday, and a few other days too. But it doesn't stop me from taking my day off. Rest, renew, and most importantly, reconnect to self, and that is S-E-L-F with a capital S, our Christ self, our true self. We all know that, and yet somehow we don't. So, I want everybody here to take a pledge with me and take a stand for laying around on the couch. Are you with me? Okay. Now, all joking aside, I want to talk about emergency Sabbath. Okay, how do you know you need an emergency Sabbath? When you are less than your highest and best self. When you forget nothing and no one is against you. Well, luckily for you, I forgot on Friday, and I'm going to tell you all about it. First of all, I want you to hold myself and Roland in the light, because we found out on Thursday that he's going to need some more surgery. So that was a bit of a blow. And on Friday, we went to the VA and for them to take a CT scan. And Roland, by the way, Roland is, I'm the one who's nasty, let's just put it that way. He always knows that when we go to the VA, they're going to help him. But for some reason, I noticed that I was not consciously thinking that everybody was against me, but as I drove, drive up to the circular letting him off place, and I'm thinking, why are these cars here? Why are these other people needing to be dropped off in my way? Really, seriously, and I don't even catch myself. And then it wasn't until the second time I drove up that day that I caught myself doing that. And I just walk in and I'm feeling angry at everybody in the VA. Why? They're helping. They're kind people, doctors, nurses, technicians, who care. And I'm angry at them because I am totally forgetting that nothing and no one is against you. And that's what I want to tell you, that this is Emergency Sabbath. Is just stopping and remembering there is only one power and one presence in my life. And sometimes you can say it that way, and sometimes you have to say, wait a minute, nothing and no one is against me. I mean nothing, not any circumstance, even the worst circumstance. Even a car crash or a bad diagnosis, or a diagnosis you don't like, or being fired, or seriously, even war. Wow, are you kidding me? Even war? Even going to jail? Yes. Nothing and no one is against me. Those are strong words, but those are the words that help us. Because let me tell you, whatever I don't even need to tell you this. You've already had some things, right? Everybody here has had some stuff, some circumstances that are just plain horrible. And the beautiful, wonderful part of life is that sometimes those things open our hearts up. I'll tell you what, there's been a huge outpouring of love and support for Roland and I, and many, many people help us in many, many ways, and people offer all the time. And sometimes I don't even know what to say, but if I forget, just remember the refrigerator cleaning. Just remind me, how's your refrigerator now? Really, I'm joking. And what really is the biggest support is the love and affection and being part of this spiritual community. Now, I have to share this journey with you. I can't get up and talk on a Sunday without sharing what's going on with me, because it just doesn't seem right. And also, you guys are going on the journey with me. And all of you, if you haven't, you will see me sometime needing an emergency Sabbath. You will see me, and you want to say, Cynthia, honey, maybe you want to sit down and take a moment, and that would actually be okay with me. And at the same time, I know all of you sometimes need an emergency Sabbath. So that is the first one I want to offer you, that technique. Now, there's a beautiful book called Sabbath by Wayne Muller. I know lots of you have read it. It's a beautiful book, and he starts with the idea of the Jewish Sabbath, about what a beautiful ritual it is and how we can add that back into our lives. And he goes on many, many ways and ways that you can connect. And I want to talk about 3 things that I noticed in the realm of self-care. So taking some time for yourself, self-care. It was brought to my attention that there are 3 different kinds of self-care. Well, one kind of self-care is kindness self-care. Kindness self-care would be the kind of self-care where you get a massage, You take a bath if you like baths. Take yourself for a walk. Binge watch The Magicians in an afternoon. Then there's there's reflective self-care, right? Reflective self-care might be taking some time to write in your journal, to read some inspirational book like the one Mark was talking about, to maybe do some yoga, do some reflecting, however you like to reflect. And obviously prayer, meditation, contemplation, all those things are reflective self-care. Then there's something that I like to call connecting self-care. That's what this is for me. This is connecting self-care. Every Sunday is connecting self-care for me. That would also be things like, meeting with a spiritual director once a week. Coming to the sound healing every Tuesday at noon. Or the sound healing and meditation, which just started up, every Wednesday at 7. Some people are here every Friday night for an AA forgiveness meeting. It's a closed meeting, but I just like to know that they're up there doing forgiveness every Friday night at 6:30. Or every Sunday morning at 10:30. See what I did there? That is what I like to call connecting self-care, which is the practice of joining up with your people who are on the spiritual journey to enlightenment with you. Your spiritual practice group, your spiritual community. So in order to get to these practices, a person must make time and space in our lives and in our calendars. So we're going to do a little exercise, and so look around for the white notepad in the pockets and get a pen out. And then I'm going to refresh you with this example of a video, and to me it's an example of connecting with your with people. Here you go. They have a video lined up for me. I think you will love this.
Now, where are you off to?
I'm going to find God.
Ah, I see. Well, dinner's at 6. Don't be late.
Thank you.
You're welcome. He was like, no. Here you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love broccoli.
Oh.
Gotta go.
So did you find him?
God is a woman, Mom, and she has the most beautiful smile I've ever seen.
Why are you in such a good mood? I just ate Twinkies in the park with God. He's much younger than I expected.
So eating Twinkies with God, that could be one of the things you're going to make a list for me. So here's the exercise. I want you, if you're willing, to make a list. One kind self-care thing you can do for yourself, one reflective self-care you can do for yourself, and one connecting self-care thing, okay? So one kindness, a kind thing, a reflective thing, and a connecting thing. And when you're done with that, I have a few more things to add. So when you're done, just look up and look like you're all done. Now, I want you to make a list of 5 things. Well, just because I'm done, you're not done, sorry. One kind, one kind self-care, one reflecting self-care, and one connecting self-care. And then I want you to put 5 things from your to-do list on there that you have this week. The first 5 things that pop into your head. You don't have to worry about them being the most important or anything. Just put down 5 things on your to-do list. Oh, 5 things. Don't write paragraphs. Just write 5 things that are on your to-do list for this week. Maybe shopping, maybe going to work, maybe going to the bank, laundry, it's usually on my list. It's stuff you know you're going to do. You probably don't even need a list about it. Let's make 5 things. And then when you're this time I really will wait till everybody's done for the last part. So wave to me if you're ready to do the next part. Oh, good. Okay, now, so you have a total of 5, 6, 7. There's 8 things on your piece of paper. You only have room for 4. I want you to cross off 4 things, like you mean it. Cross off the 4 things you really are willing not to do. Four things that you're not going to do because you only have time for 4. And wave at me when you're done. Okay, I've still got more people. wave at me again if you're done with that. All right. So here's the scoop. I'm not going to ask you to tell me, but I know I crossed off one of my self-cares. Did anybody else cross off a self-care? Yeah. I crossed off one of my self-cares. And that's kind of the way it is. So, clearly, I'm not here to tell you how to manage your lives, but I am here to remind us of that we want to do preemptive self-care and Sabbath so that we don't have to do emergency Sabbath, right? We don't want to go around correcting. I hate to go after the wake of misery I've created and do emergency Sabbath and call people up and say, hey, I'm sorry, But I will continue to do that, I'm sure. And then I just wanted to say, if anybody wants to share anything, when I let you do that stuff and you're willing to cooperate, I have a microphone. If anybody wants to share anything, we started late, so we get 5 more minutes. Anybody? And you don't need to. Just want to say. Okay. I think this is yours. The right one. All right. And then here is how I want to say this. So, for this week, this is what I want you to do. If you're willing, will you add one self-care item to your week, the whole week? Will you, with me, I'm not talking about something you do every day. If you meditate every morning, I'm asking you to add a new one. Will you add one self-caring item to your life? And remember, we always have emergency Sabbath. Nothing and no one is against us. So let's take an offering for unity.